All right, we're on.
All right, episode 3 is
HYROX.
HYROX. We ended episode 2 segueing that we were going to talk about this because it deserves, I think, its own subject discussion because it can be unpacked in so many different ways from, I think, our own personal athlete perspectives, from a business owner perspective, from a coaching perspective, from a spectator perspective, all the different angles. But I think the best way to sort of, I guess, break down this discussion would be to talk about our HYROX journey from literally when you first learned about HYROX, which was before it came to Australia, to now. Mm-hmm. So I think let's start there, like when you first found out about what it was.
Mm-hmm. So I was following along and still follow along some boutique strength and conditioning gyms in Europe, and there was one particular brand that was heavily involved with it in the UK, and I could see them selling online HYROX programs, and their owners were out doing the race. And
only the owners, not the gym community, or
I only saw because it was happening kind of overseas and background. It's like I wasn't like super hyper focused on it, but just through scrolling along or whatever, you see them at this race doing the thing. And went a little bit deeper into it and learned what it was, and also had a few influencers that were popping up that were dominating the race. I was like, what is this? And through that learned about what the race was, what the brand was, but also knew that it wasn't in Australia and it was just this European thing. So it was kind of just happening in the background. And actually at the time we were really focused on turf games, and
we were eyeing it off. It was hosted in Queensland at the time.
So, turf games came to Queensland year 1, then it did Queensland, Sydney year 2, and then Queensland, Sydney, Melbourne this year, which we eventually get to. But during the time of it coming to Australia and landing in the Gold Coast, we were nearly there, and we end up being too slow getting tickets and organising teams together. But it was pretty much that exact time that we miss out on turf games.
Because we were eyeing that off as, I guess, an appropriate event for our fitness community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And proves to be, because we just got back from there and did well and had an awesome weekend. But anyway, HYROX, we were contacted by their Australian manager.
When HYROX came to Australia?
Before, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And said, we're coming to Australia. We see what you guys are doing and we want you involved. And I was like, fuck yeah, here it is. Like, awesome. I know exactly who you guys are. I know what the race is, and this is right up our alley. Yeah, we're keen as.
And who contacted you?
Matt Locke. Mm-hmm. Matt Locke, who's the Australian manager and still the Australian big dog. Maybe even
I think his role's changed Australia. A few times. Yeah.
He's coming onto the pod.
Yeah.
So
good bloke.
An absolute legend bloke. As genuine as they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. So he contacts us and wants us involved, and there's a few moving parts that we can unpack if we like from that. But anyway, from
it was initially excitement.
Like
absolutely. You just said that, like he said, I'm calling on behalf of HYROX. Have you ever heard of this? Well, I actually have. Cool. So then I remember that as well, that initial excitement, and you being on the phone, and then basically discussing about it being a good place for a good race for our fitness community to be brought to. So we were like, cool, we'll share this with our community. Turf games is not possible right now because we missed out on tickets. So this is our next opportunity. But then something else happened. And then that led to the next discussion with Matt.
Yeah. So from what I'd seen in Europe and other parts of the world, there was no other, a preferred training partner or an affiliation with, another brand or a franchise network. So as far as I'm aware, that coming to Australia and activating themselves that way through a franchise network was a first for them.
For HYROX.
Yeah. And partnering with, kind of a competitor in the space and, affiliating in a preferred training center way, yeah, it's kind of, if you take the politics and the, you know, and the money that would have cost out of the picture, if it was just purely like genuine and these guys are actually our preferred training center, well, that is a slap in the face to a lot of other boutiques and gyms that could have got involved in it. And
so you thought it was like we lost an opportunity in a way? Do you feel that? You're saying that could have, like boutiques that could have got involved?
Yeah, well, I feel like boutiques are involved in it now, but I have a feeling that a lot of other boutiques were late to the party because of that affiliation.
Therefore, potentially left a bit of a distaste, like a sour taste.
For sure.
Okay,
and
cool.
I guess like coming back to Matt and the discussions that we were having really early with him, it ends up being, if you know, Matt knew that regardless of all of it, it's going to be an awesome day for our crew, and it was unforgettable at the under the tent.
Melbourne Showgrounds. It's the first one in 2023.
It was a wicked day. And yeah, Matt knew that it would be a good day regardless. And at the end of the day, it comes back to like what's best for your community. And if you ask yourself that, it's like, well, put the politics aside. Like, this is going to be awesome for us, so let's get out there and do it. And yeah, since then we've built a great relationship with them. And you know,
yeah, I guess what I was just trying to, I guess, poke there was that it was a little rocky start.
Yeah,
like it was initial excitement to like, hold on, what's this preferred training partner thing when we were contacted, and then I guess it felt like, yeah, if anything, it sort of dumbs out the noise of the boutiques and highlights and showcases a franchise network, but potentially for the wrong reasons in some people's eyes. So it shook it up a little bit, but then fair to say we came around.
yeah. And like came around quickly because we were there at their first race. We were also, if not in Australia, definitely in Victoria, the first to host a PFT. Yes,
the first gym to host a PFT. And PFT, for those that don't know, that stands for physical fitness test. So it's kind of like a opportunity, a fitness opportunity for participants to get involved in a local gym that is hosted by HYROX, like an event, like a mini event.
What is it again exactly?
Well,
it's a 1K run.
They sort of framed it as like a test, a taster.
Yeah,
of the HYROX
It's
race.
a fitness test, but it's really nothing like the race.
It has small elements. It's not. No, now that we know and we've raced, we do know it doesn't feel like the race, but there's tasters. There's elements of it. You can't deny that there's 100 wall balls in there.
There's 100 wall balls. It's intense. It's hot.
It is hot, but it's short.
I think it's smart to, I guess, if you're like coming into a new country or coming into a new place where HYROX hasn't.
Yes.
Where there hasn't been a race hosted, it's a nice entry point into it.
Yeah, it's a nice introductory.
If you were to come out and our first, taste of it was a race simulation, I think that would scare the shit out of people. So,
well, I think it's fair to say the PFT still scared the shit out of people.
PFT is hot. So I think I've done it in, I think it's like 17 minutes. 17 or 18 minutes or something like that. I can't remember.
We haven't done many.
But it's like in comparison to your best run time, which is mine with a doubles partner is 55 minutes. So a little bit of a gap there.
Yes, it's not reflective of the race experience. However, like you said, I think when it's introduced into a new state/country, it is a cool way for people to be introduced to the race experience in some way or form. And in an accessible way or form. We'll talk about accessibility later. You asked what the PFT was, literally. 1K run, from memory, 1K run, 50 burpee broad jumps over some yellow lines, like a 1 metre line.
Forward lunges.
100 forward lunges. Remember that blowing up your legs before you got on the rower. 1K row, 30 hand release push-ups into 100 wall balls. I don't think I've missed anything there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So...
if not, it's like it's thereabouts.
And I think that first event, because we've run 2 PFTs, I think, now, but that first one, I think it's fair to say, it excited some people for the race and turned some people off the race.
Yeah.
Like, we know that from that, probably half of them went and raced HYROX in August, which was only a few months after that PFT, and half of them did not. Fair?
Yeah. I think more than half. I reckon more than half.
Yeah. More than half, but then also some add-ons that didn't even do the PFT. Yeah.
Most of our crew like the heat. So
yeah. Well, it was new.
Yeah.
It's new, exciting.
in hindsight now though, like it's not the race. It's nothing like the race.
No, it's not.
So what?
So I guess would you host any more now? Now that we are where we are, we're in 2025, and HYROX has been in Australia for 2 years.
I wouldn't host a PFT. No, because across the board we're fitter. Like I think
we, as in the body community, or humans are everywhere.
I think community fitness, like group fitness, community fitness is generally fitter. I would be hosting a race simulation, and for anybody coming into HYROX, if it was their first race and they're coming into the sim, I would give them more guidance on it. Like you've just got more experience to offer. And if you were to come out straight into, all the boutiques and whoever the franchise network is you're partnering with and going straight into race simulations, like you haven't got the experience. So yeah, now that you've got the experience, I'd happily host race simulations, and we're hosting 2 coming up.
Yeah, and we have been hosting race simulations for our members for every race so far. But I think we're going to open this one up now that we are a official HYROX training club.
So there's going to be people from all different levels listening. So there's going to be people that never
fitness levels.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Well, I know we've got members that have never done it before. I've got members that have done every single race possible. There's members with us that have flown around and done it in different cities. But
done it over in World Champs.
For people that haven't done it before, I want to give technically exactly what the race is, just quickly break it down and then give a perspective version of what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So yeah. So you want to black and white share with the listeners what the HYROX race is in terms of from when you start at the start line to when you finish.
Yeah.
And then your perspective.
Yeah.
Sure. Go for it. And then we'll talk about Melbourne, the first race.
Okay. So it's a 8-kilometer race, running race, that's broken up every kilometer by a workout station.
And so would you like me to break down the race?
Ski, sled push.
Wow.
Sled pull.
Yep.
Burpee broad jumps.
Hey there.
Row. Farmer's carry, lunges, wall balls.
Far out.
All right.
Lucky you made that. That is ridiculous.
And the distances and weights.
Sure.
We'll come back to.
No, you don't need to list them. All right. So that is the race in its sequence and how it's meant to be executed. All those stations with a 1K run in between each.
Yeah. Don't skip one.
Don't skip one. Don't do them out of order. # penalties.
Yeah.
Now you want to share your perspective and understanding of how you would describe the race.
Yeah.
In its essence.
Yeah. So believe it or not, I have done these a few times.
Convincing.
So it's a running race. It's absolutely a running race. At least 50% of it is running. So there's this area also called the rock zone where you come out of your workout stations, and because it's quite big in Australia now, that area is quite big because there's quite a lot of athletes out on the course at any given time. So you want to get off that workout station wherever it is and be running in that rock zone. And that rock zone is part of the race. So,
absolutely. And I think that's where
distance that needs to be covered in there. So you're at least running 8 kilometers, possibly even 9 to 10.
Yep.
So you are running also compromised. So every workout station beats you up. Every workout station is hard in its own right. So you have to condition yourself to be able to get off those workout stations and push into a run. So I see this as much as it's mixed modality and there's 8 different workout stations, I see it as a running race. And that frames your conversations, I guess, I don't want to say differently, but it frames the conversation when people are wanting to know about the race and how they need to prepare.
And just be realistic.
The first 2 questions I ask them, what is your training looking like at the moment? And what's your run program? And
slash are you running at all?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't even running. And that's cool. Now we can open up a different style of training that needs to come in. But ultimately it's a running race.
All right.
What do you see it as?
No, I do see it as the same.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason I see it as the same is because can you improve in terms of your ability to execute those workout stations over time? Yes. And can you train for them? Yes, absolutely. Is there a high level of skill involved? I don't necessarily believe that. I think practice and technique and strategy plays a lot of parts in how successful you are on each workout station. But I also think, just from having a lot of training experience myself, I don't find the workout stations hard. Well, they're hard, but the running is harder. And in terms of my training and my race experience, my best races have been when my running has been most dialed in, 100%. And I guess the running training as well has carryover to your ability to endure the whole race, in my opinion. So, yes, I do agree. It's a running race, but I also agree that if you have a decent strength base as well, it's an advantage.
Sweet. What sort of do we want to discuss? Strength training and how it would carry over, and types of strength training. Am I going off topic? Do you need to keep me in line?
You've already gone off topic, bro. Well, I was hoping to sort of go through a timeline when, HYROX came to Australia. I want to, let's circle back. I am going to reroute you back. You've talked about the race now. So let's talk about Melbourne. When it first came to Melbourne, we've done the PFT, which was in June 2023, and then the first Melbourne HYROX was in August 2023. We had, from memory, something around maybe 40 to 50 of our member community sign up and compete, and trust us and follow our lead and go, let's have a go here. We've got this. Let's talk about that experience first. The first race at the Melbourne Showgrounds.
Well, I guess my most fondest memory of that race generally was from a spectator's point of view. And it destroyed me. I was fucked before my race.
Yeah.
I spent.
Oh God, you've got a story about that race too, actually. But anyway,
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know how mentally taxing it would be to cheer on our crew. So all day, I remember being there early, and even people like Anth and Ben, who we've known, a couple of boys that are doing well in the men's pro double space and
solos.
Men's solos. Yep. We've known them a very, very long time, maybe 10 years or something. It'd be close to that.
Probably
we
more.
met them in a council gym in Eltham.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember seeing them racing. We had
so we're seeing familiar faces.
Yeah, Mitch and Erica. That was a hot race.
Which got them out, got them a
podium.
podium. They were our podium for the community representing.
And one of the first, we're able to go out with the first group here to World Champs.
Yeah.
Have, what else? My race got fully butchered.
And why was that? Let's just share the learnings.
Well, what did I do on? Oh, no, that race I came to the sled pool when I shouldn't have.
No, that race you ran extra laps.
Oh, extra laps. Yeah, true. Extra laps on that race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess for everyone listening at home, there are so many mistakes that can happen in a HYROX race because of the nature of the race in terms of needing to execute both the runs and the workout stations in a particular order and a particular distance.
Yeah.
So, and because HYROX is a race that moves around different cities and different countries, where they host it and the venues that they use to host it it's a variable. So, whilst Melbourne uses the Melbourne Convention Centre currently, and other convention centres in Sydney, Perth, Brisbane, etc., Melbourne Showgrounds was different. Depending on the venue, dictates how many laps athletes need to run on the running track around the outside of the arena to accumulate that 1 kilometre before entering the rock zone and doing that workout station. So it is one variable that needs to be have some mental attention to when racing. So, and that's just one, let alone knowing what station's coming next and understanding the order of them, and then understanding the rules and understanding the distances and understanding the amount of reps and all that sort of stuff. There is judges and volunteer judges and head judges everywhere, but it's not their responsibility to remind you. You shouldn't have to turn around and go, how many wall balls am I doing? You should know. So yes, this race is accessible to anyone, and yes, you need a level of fitness and strength and everything to come and compete, but you actually need to be switched on, bro. Fair? Like it takes, you need to pay some mental attention to the race, and planning out and really understanding it will be an advantage for you on race day.
I mean, there's variables in any race that come into play. So, you know, running extra laps or copping penalties for, you know, your form not being right or stepping over lines or whatever. Like it's all part of it, but the better prepared you are and the more you understand, the less chance you have of messing it up. And also not just, you know, during that training prep, but like the night before, the morning of, you know, the night before they usually do like a live walkthrough.
Which people should pay attention to. It's actually a fantastic thing that HYROX do.
You know, different venues have different, you know, sizes. You know, there's different laps. Sometimes you've got to run 3 laps and come in on actually Showgrounds would have been the smallest one. Actually, that spat you out and there was a separate building.
That was just for the wall balls.
Just for the wall balls. Yeah,
it wasn't for every lap.
Yeah, true, but still.
Yeah.
There's just
there's
something
room for
that
error.
you've got to remember.
There is absolutely room for error.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being that first race, like so many people were doing that. Like it was happening left, right and centre. Like people's finish times were all disqualified or penalties or not the right finish times because they had time penalties or they'd just run extra laps. But it was just, it's a great learning curve.
Huge.
Like it's all good. It happens at every single race, but probably to a lesser extent now. That first one in Melbourne, it was happening hardcore.
I was so humbled that race.
Yeah.
So humbled. I'm like, thought I had this secret sauce. I thought our recipe was perfect and I'm going to do my laps. I'll just remember my laps actually. That was my strategy.
That's right, because there was, Matt shared on the live walkthrough, the old hair tie trick.
Yeah.
And I remember going out to Woolies and grabbing a big pack of like multicolored hair ties and sharing them amongst the crew. Some people declined to use them.
There's no way. Like even now, like I'm not counting my laps, man. I use like sweatbands. These are my Spartan sweatbands that you get after a race, and the hair tie strategy. But there's no way I'd remember.
And why? There's no way I remember. Why? Because I think you're going to race.
Pop out of my head, man. Like,
yeah. Your race mode
intense.
is a little bit too hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're too like. Actually, the last Melbourne, because it was on a bigger course, because there was more people, you only had to run past the in arch once and then come in the second time. So I don't know. I can't remember actually, to be honest, whether I used the hair tie strategy for that or not. But I do. But that's an easier one. But when they were smaller.
Correct.
Freaking hard.
More,
Run past
more
it twice, come in on the
2.5
third
or 3.5. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, there were good memories. Good memories of Melbourne and our community and getting around. Like, so, yeah, just coming back to the spectator part of it, because that's what I loved about that day. I call it like a HYROX vortex. It's like this energy sucking machine when you go near it. And it's so stimulating and like, it was sick. Like following, because you get to watch people at like, you know, meters away from them. Whereas like if we've done other obstacle races and stuff like that, you might see a few obstacles wherever it is, and then they push up into the hills and you don't see them for hours or whatever.
Correct.
But you can literally follow them around from station to station to station. And I remember just running around like an absolute maniac. Like,
and I remember HYROX.
Everyone.
I know, like I know HYROX. Like it's not just about the athletes. They do want to hero the spectator experience too, and rightly so. It is awesome to spectate, being that close. The athletes can hear you. It's good. It's a good push for the racers themselves. But I remember from that year, spectating being cool and feedback from our community, like. Well, not only did they love spectating as well, but from being on the racing side, like it meant so much more to their experience and gave so much more to the experience to have their, you know, your crew or your fitness community getting around them. And then something we do, which I know a lot of people do, like we didn't freaking pilot this or anything like that, you know, start this trend by no means, but doing live recording streams of the races and trying to follow along as many of our athletes or our gym community as possible when they're racing, so that those that are not necessarily spectating in person can spectate from home watching on their phone. It further extends the spectating experience, and it's just a nice way to connect people to the event still, and potentially plant seeds of what it looks like, what it feels like, to which I think eventually has carried over to those people at home sitting watching on their phones, eventually dipping their toe in themselves. Like
100%.
It has this domino effect over time.
Yeah.
Like anything with any group going and trying something for the first time and people witnessing it from the outside. But I know our community for a fact loves the live streams, asks for it every time now that since we started doing them, might enjoy a bit of my commentary. I get a bit ridiculous on there. But then I also love passing the phone on to others in the community and just having little newsreaders from our crew. I remember Caitlin and Hannah that year enjoying it and providing the goods for the peeps at home. So the spectating is really cool. And just going through a new experience as a group and a community together. Yeah, it was really good fun that first year. And then I guess from that first year, fair to say we got the bug. And then that led into 2024. The next race, or the next Melbourne race, was June 2024. So there was just I guess, what's that, 10 months in between the two Melbourne races to essentially prep for another one. And, there was, of course, races interstate as well. But where our eyes were next on that next June Melbourne one, and we, I think, lent a lot harder into our prep for that. Fair?
Yep.
So should we talk about that next one? Going from Melbourne 2023, there was Melbourne June 2024 and December 2024. So Melbourne scored 2 HYROX races last year due to its popularity and the hype, and which was great. Yeah. And we lent into both.
Yeah.
June was big. I think December was almost as big. I think the time of year was tricky, and we know that. But June was big. I think we had around 80 members. And I remember, Earth to Body having a reasonable presence there, and it was cool. I think it's safe to say,
huge presence.
It put us on the map a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that a race for you with Maxine?
Yes.
Sweet. So that weekend, like you say, from a community standpoint for us, was probably to this day now would be one of our biggest community weekends, like outside of a Croydon event.
It'd actually be on par with
Bright
Spartan Bright, yeah.
That was huge.
Spartan Bright last year in 2024 and HYROX in June 2024 were probably on par in terms of numbers for a sporting event. Yeah. Which is, the more the better. It's so much fun. It's like everywhere you look, there's someone from your crew. Yeah. It's cool. There's always someone to watch. Which also made it hard as spectators because there was always someone to watch.
Yeah. Been on it for a minute now when you go back that far. So I remember you needed to say that there was June and December for me to separate the two in my head, but I remember now. So that weekend in June, I did a pro, a relay and a mixed doubles.
Yes, you did.
I did the pro, mixed doubles with Charlie, and the relay with the boys.
Yep.
We were in the relay with the boys.
Yes.
And
that was coming off the back of your pro race. I remember running over to you with a different pair of shoes and a different singlet. Yeah. Going, get your shoes off, drink your Red Bull, hurry up. You need to get to the relay starting area. Yeah. To the briefing. You potentially missed the briefing. Let's face it. It was back-to-back race times.
Literally minutes. I remember Harry started in the Red Bull tent, full hand, bent over, still
catching his breath from his pro race,
still cooked from the pro race, and having to push straight into a faster. Well, it's as fast as you can. It's hot. The relays are hot. That was the hardest 1 kilometer row of my life.
What 2 stations did you do?
I did row and one of the sleds. Yeah, I can't remember which sled. Sled. I want to say sled push.
Sure.
But I honestly, I can only remember the row. I know it was fucking hot though. I know that.
There was side eyes happening on that road.
no,
It was
it was the pool. It was sled pool. I remember now
sled pool and the road.
because it was actually it was not much of a gap between for me in that race.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And the best performance from our boys were, well, I know Mitch goes unbroken, but he's very capable. And the relay weight, I think, was 6. I don't think we did a 9. It's not a 9 kilo ball. So
no.
more than capable for that. But still 100 unbroken is good. But Ryan's farmer's carry was like, he came for that weekend just for those 2, just for that relay.
I know.
And had to fucking leave everything he had within 2 like fucking 6 to 8 minute efforts. And he was flying on those farmer's carries.
Mate, he was flying on his runs too.
Yeah. I remember it was sick. And I remember people like, well, when you look
what
back
on
later,
earth is
like,
going on?
Yeah.
He was Yeah.
So good.
It was so
That
funny.
was sick.
Yeah, it was good.
And Charlie, I've done races with people outside of the community as well. But I loved racing with Charlie, like one of your members, because the journey and like from when Charlie started, like I know she's always had a crack, but she got fucking fit, man. Like like I think we ran that in 105 or 106 or something. So yeah, that was sick. I remember that. I loved that. Yeah,
it was awesome to watch as well. Yeah.
Float. I said, I knew I'd be pulling her, and I'm like, if I'm going too hot, you need to yell out, tell me to float, like slow down a bit.
I'm sure if you asked Charlie how many times she asked for that. Oh gosh. And then so yeah, June races, big community representation there. And then not long after they announced December. And in between, pretty sure we took a crew to Brisbane and Perth as well. So first interstate races for our crew that we went on.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of HYROX racing.
Yeah, last year was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That window I probably learned the most from a coaching at program writing, like feeling the intensity, feeling the progress, knowing actually like doing a few races, learning how you need to be training to actually compete at a high level in the race. But yeah, Melbourne was epic.
Which Melbourne?
was epic. 2024, yeah?
Well, June or December?
December.
Yeah, okay.
December.
So we've got to December now. But in that gap, in between June and December, you got race experience in Brisbane and Perth as well. And what happened from your training perspective? You engaged with a coach.
So she's still at the time and still is in the Elite 15. And yeah, engaged with someone that had the experience. Like I don't mind throwing mud and seeing what sticks, but not really anymore. Like I'm happy to engage with someone that's been there and done it. And yeah, she had her own style and it's new. Like no one's got, I don't believe, like the perfect recipe, because you need to do like a 3 to 5 month prep for you to actually put a whole prep to the test. So I did it under her style. And
how long was that prep with that coach?
That was
Do you remember?
20 weeks. 20 weeks. What's that? 4, 8, 12, 16, like 5 months. Yeah. Like all in. And my bias of training switched very heavily then. And like from the first race when ego got the better of me and was exposed and humbled, it was very athletic focused, like athleticism, power, strength, sprints. I was trying to push the heaviest sled that I could possibly push. Like I had stacks high, of sled pull, just trying to push it the heaviest thing I could, but not understanding like it's more endurance in that sense than short and powerful and explosive. So my bias switched really heavily over that 5 months, more than it ever has. I got fit, like conditioned to be able to go hard for that hour. My running game improved a lot, but my strength got compromised also. And I think you can do both, but yeah. Anyway, your bias switched from HYROX specific, sport specific, as opposed to GPP, general strength and conditioning. And yeah, I learned a lot. No regrets, but I learned how an Elite 15, someone that does it full time,
Lives and breathes
lives
it.
and breathes it. This is how you do it. And we're still repeating some of those track workouts, you know, today, like, and the principles of it. So yeah.
So I guess taking away from that coaching experience, yeah, what did it teach you? And how would you now do things differently, or would you do things differently with your A, your race experience, and B, just going through someone else's prep style?
I would mix in, because I think if you look at it as a mixed modality sport, like a triathlon or something like that, generally people go, let's say Ironman, like you go in and out of it. It's intense training. So I believe there still should be a mix. I don't like that I lost so much strength. I also look at someone like Hunter McIntyre, and when he ran the fastest race that he's run, he was a big, stronger, bigger, dude that he is now. He's still a fucking unit. Absolutely. But I think strength still speaks, and I would like to and do incorporate strength into a prep. And I think maximal effort strength, 1 RMs, 2 RMs, 3 RMs, 5 RMs, I still like it there because it speaks to strength endurance. Yes, you need strength endurance. Yes, to be, lunging 100 meters is not maximal effort, but if you don't have a strong squat or a strong lunge, you probably don't have a strong, or an ability to do it with heavy weight for a long period of time. So I think also I want to be engaged with it. I think for that 5 months, where I was so dialed into HYROX, I get more enjoyment out of blending in some skills as well. So making sure there's strength there, having some wins on the barbell, blending in skills that still carry over. But yeah, mixing in some GPP with HYROX specific, and also running as well. So making sure there's sprints, making sure there's thresholds, making sure there's zone 2, some long aerobic work, and making sure that the thresholds are the low-hanging fruit, but making sure they're at a distance or time interval that carries over to your 1 kilometer efforts on the race. That's a pretty long answer.
That's right. But we'll break that down a little bit, I think, after we wrap up the sort of timeline stuff.
Okay, cool.
But because I think we can sort of circle back to that and talk about how you train our community now, and what you believe in those that follow us, how we want to teach it and how we want to execute a race prep now. But let's just circle back to Melbourne 2024, December. So the second race last year in Melbourne, where again we had a really awesome community presence. And highlights for you on that race weekend. I can't remember how many races you did, or was it only one?
Was this the one with Joe?
Yep.
One
race.
I was prepping for a pro at the time, and it was about maybe 8 weeks out from the race.
It was only 8 weeks.
No. Well, I was deep into the prep for
men's
a
pro solo.
Yeah. So even in 10 weeks, maybe 12.
I can't remember.
Somewhere thereabouts. It wasn't a huge prep. Because I know I was for a decent stint, I was locked in on the pro race. And then Joe reached out, wanted to do some training together. And we were training together, and then floated the idea of doing a race together, but that was never the idea at the start. But yeah, that was just the one race for me, because I knew that was going to be my hardest race. So I didn't want to go in at all compromised. And yeah, that was definitely a highlight. That was sick.
It was highlight for you and also highlight for the spectators too. Like for our community, getting to watch you race in a high level race with some of the fastest people in the world. Yeah. There was like a media posse following you guys around the Melbourne Convention Centre, but it was a really cool race.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah.
From the sidelines anyway, if
I
you could get on your tippy toes.
Connect with a lot of people through that as well, like people that I still keep in touch with now that, just admired the prep that we were putting in for it. So that's cool. And
that whole wave, that whole wave for that race, it wasn't just like you guys in the top sort of 3 spots. Like that whole wave was like a heap of awesome people and big names, and also
Chris Willie,
people you knew, we knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris and Jane.
So
Maddie and Ryan.
The race haunts me, but it also opened an opportunity because we were leading until the sled pull, even with a ski that shut itself.
Malfunction. Yeah. When we talk about race variables, there's some pretty epic race variables there when
the race
machine can malfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't go our way, but it allowed Tia and James to catch us. And it was like cat and mouse between Tia and James and me and Joe for the rest of the race, pretty much from the sled pull. That in itself is so sick. Like, and I'd followed James for, a long time before HYROX, when he was a CrossFit athlete. And then, actually learned about James when he went vegan. And so my PT at the time was like, "Oh, did you hear James Newbury went vegan?" I'm like, "Who's James Newbury?" And then connected with him then. So, and that's what, 9 years ago? When did we go vegan? Plant-based. 9 years ago? 10 years ago, something like that. So I'd followed him as an athlete and someone that I'd looked up to for that long, and to go toe to toe with him. And at the time, Tia and James would get us on the stations, definitely stronger, but we'd get them on the runs. I'd run past James and Tia. That's fucking wild.
That's nuts.
But yeah, it was a sick weekend and awesome memory. And yeah.
And your fastest race to date. Fair,
yeah.
I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yours and Joe's time.
Yeah. Harry and I ran the pros men's in 58 minutes. And at that time, like, boys are doing it quicker than that now, which is fucking wild. And
the scene is just,
We were shocked. We thought if we could run it under an hour at the time, we're like, well, we should podium. Like, we should be right up there. They were. So yeah, 58 minutes with Harry and the men's pro, and 50,
that was in another state.
In Brisbane.
Yeah.
That was Brisbane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 55 minutes with Joe. Yeah.
Fast.
It was fast.
Yes.
Yeah. She's fast.
She is super.
She's a fucking demon.
Unreal.
Mm.
Yeah, cool.
What about your races up until there? Have you got highlights?
Can't say that I've been racing against some elites.
No, but there's people that there's people in our member community right now that are coming into this race that have never done it. So I think your perspective's still cool and still important. And there were still early races for me too. Like, so what's your highlight?
Oh, my highlight was simply the race I did the best on, which was ladies doubles with Maxine in June 2024 last year. So that was our second race. And when I say our, because in the first Melbourne HYROX, myself and Maxine did our own first solo, women's open solo. So my first ever HYROX race was a solo race. No regrets. I liked feeling it out on my own. And then, Maxine and I locked in and committed to the whole prep, guided by you, for June 2024, our first mixed race. And I was stoked with our outcomes and wouldn't have asked for any more. Couldn't have asked for any more. I think we performed amazing, to the best of our ability on the day. And I think our prep was awesome. Like, we did not miss a beat. We did not miss a run. We did not miss a session. We did the extra work. We did the sims. I remember doing a sim at like 8:00 at night on a Saturday night because I'd spent the whole day running them for the community. So I went home for a few hours for a rest, and then me and Maxine did it that night. Simon was in there too. We were all dying just doing it, and we did our 1K runs on the skill mills. And I remember looking at my Garmin, and it was like performance condition -8 or something like that. It was like I was dead. I was so fatigued.
That Garmin's a bastard.
The
sometimes.
Garmin, yeah, mate. I don't know how
Fuck that
accurate it
thing.
is. Yeah,
I've got
it plays with your head.
I've got a new one, and I think I bought this secondhand. I don't know whether it still stores data, but I don't think she was very fit because sometimes I'm like bonking, and it's like performance fucking 10. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's still learning. It's still learning. But yeah, rounding that off, I guess that ridiculous sim at a stupid time of Saturday night, feeling like us because we just committed to the process. We're like, no, it's happening. We're doing what we said we'd do.
Yep.
And it was cool. Yeah, that was our favorite race. And I remember that that wave that we did that doubles race in. We had so much of the Earth to Body community women's doubles in that wave. I think there was like 20 of us in the one wave, which was so cool. And I think we can thank HYROX for that. I'm pretty sure from memory, when we signed up for our tickets, I think there was a section where you write what gym you're part of or something. Something happened like that because it wasn't by mistake. I think there was a little bit of behind the scenes strategy or purpose there to put people together if possible. Maybe, I think. But it was a really cool wave, which made it cool for the spectators. Everyone got to cheer a lot of us on at once. But yeah, that was my favourite race. And I've since raced with Maxine again. With a not so great prep and navigated some injuries, and we've got another one coming up this year. But we've also both since done more solo races as well and a relay.
Okay.
So we've now done all of it. I've done everything now except a mixed doubles race.
Yes or no? Yes or no? You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't give the prep everything you've got.
Yes. You are doing yourself a disservice.
And
if you want to do well.
But would you say the same thing for a Spartan race? Because I feel like HYROX is unique, and I explain that to people that want to know about it. I think HYROX is unique in that Red Bull tent, when it counts you down and it's like, you want to be able to go. You want to be able to have put in the reps, know what it feels like, know what the intensity feels like. And to know what the intensity feels like, you have to be doing hard runs. You have to have done, a simulation, even a half simulation, like even harder than a full simulation, if that makes sense, like an overpaced half sim. It's just, I feel like a different type of race. I feel like you want to put in the work. And it's interesting that you said, you were doing simulations with you and Maxine at Simon at 8:00 at night because you didn't miss a beat. And that was like your favorite. That was your highlight.
My favorite prep and my favorite race so far to date.
Whereas I think you can go to, Bright, and Bright's fucking beautiful. Like we can go and spend time in the high country and hang out in a caravan park and if you were to push off with a group at going at 50%, you're still going to have a mad time. Whereas I think you're going to have a better time at HYROX if you've put in the work and you're testing your fitness. Like, yeah, I think it's just unique in that way. Do you agree?
Well, if you want to compare it to Spartan, I've got a funny face because you're comparing it to Spartan now, because I thought the question was around like, are you doing a disservice if you don't put everything into your prep, essentially? Yeah. But if you're translating that to Spartan, are you doing yourself a disservice if you don't put everything into your prep? Still yes, depending on how competitive you want to be and what your results you're striving for. Because can you go all in with a Spartan race prep too? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trail runs, obstacle practice. Again, another race where there's just so many variables that you have that are out of your control on the day, which can be weather and slipperiness and whatever, uneven ground and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I guess from a personal perspective, the Spartan race can still be very much enjoyed along the way. It's good fun. The HYROX race probably does have a little bit more of a competitive feel to it. And also I think just the way it's laid out, Spartan, you could go potentially hours without seeing not many people, like out on your own in the trails, in the mountains and things like that. It's a lot more immersive
HYROX.
HYROX,
Yeah.
100% in terms of the atmosphere and everything's squished in and closer, and therefore you feel that competitiveness, I think, a little bit more in your face. You see your competitors running past you or you passing them, especially when you're on every station and, you know, you're seeing sleds go past you or you're overtaking others. It's just different. But I guess to fully answer your question, like, yeah, are you doing yourself a disservice if you don't go all in with your prep? Yes, if you are wanting to perform.
And I guess that
from a
comes,
personal perspective or a competitive perspective to rank against others in your age group.
that comes from someone too guilty. Like, I'm competitive.
Yeah.
So like that's my perspective. Like I am competitive. So, and I've also had my own best experiences from when I have put in the work. I've done a race as well off the back of not much of a prep. It was a Brisbane race. Why didn't I prep for that? And why was I in Brisbane without, what was I doing? I did prep, just not for not a pro. So my prep was there, but not at a level that it needed to be to go and push with the pro. No, I was racing with another member, which was also sick. And opted last minute. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going in. Like I had the itch. I just loved being in the vortex.
You hadn't prepped with the intention.
And I won't do that again. Like, I did it, but I don't know. It's not something, I'm not proud of it.
You've just got your own standards.
Yeah. But I also love hearing someone else's perspective that can go into it with no pressure off and just have fun out there.
Oh,
so
that's right.
I'm aware that my perspective is what it is, and other people have their own perspective. So I'm just
100%. I guess your perspective is essentially, to an extent, representing that higher end competitive group that are mixing it with or achieving podium spots or mixing it with people. You know, like you're in that group with your level of competitiveness and fitness and ability, whereas there is. The majority of the athletes competing in this race are not, because it's just there's only 3 spots on a podium. But I guess that I could lead into when you're saying about like you and being competitive and comparing that to people that just go out there and just have a great time. It's called the fitness race for everyone. It's referred to as a fitness race for everyone. So I think it's fair that we maybe just touch on that. And our perspective on that, and do we agree that it's the fitness race for everyone? Do we agree it's accessible to everyone? And why or why not?
You want me to answer?
Sure, you can go first.
This is purely my perspective, because I have heard other people, I guess, speak really positively and enthusiastically about the fact that it's accessible to anyone and anybody can come in and do it, but I'm not sure. And if I had to say yes or no, I'm going to say no, because there are people in our community that aren't accessing it because then they're not running enough. Or can you run for 8 kilometers? Can you run 1 kilometer unbroken? Can you do it off the back of a 1 kilometer ski? Or
maybe there's movement limitations, which mean you can't execute the movements to the movement standards required.
I think
AKA squat depth on a wall ball. Some people's mobility is limited.
I just want to give it the respect that I think it deserves, because it's a fucking hard race. So that's how I would frame it. Be prepared. And that's why I was put the work in. If you put the work in, you'll be sweet. But I think yes, it's awesome that it is accessible. And I think what opens up opportunities for most is you can enter it in a relay. And I think though doubles and solo are 6-1, half a dozen the other. I said that to someone the other day, what? 6-1, half a dozen the other, same. Because if you're doing it in a doubles, you have to do all the runs, but you share the workouts together. And if you want to do well, even if you don't want to do well, you've still got to do 50% of the workouts. You go, I go. And it's generally hotter, faster than what it would be if you were pacing it by yourself. And that's what I mean by
without opportunity for rests. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm going to go onto a ski erg, for example, and split the effort with my partner and go balls to the wall for whatever it is, my 150 meters or 30 seconds or whatever, let's say it's 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off at the intensity you go with a pair up, I would argue is harder than pacing out a kilometer by yourself. So 6 one, half a dozen the other. However, relay, you only have to do 2 of the whole thing, 2 runs and 2 of the workout stations. So that's pretty accessible. That's pretty accessible. Yeah.
Well, I think slightly different opinion to you, because I always play devil's advocate too. But I think the accessibility and the ability for the HYROX to be coined the fitness race for everyone depends on the outcome that you desire. What outcome for you, the individual athlete, do you need to have to feel successful? If that is simply completing it, no care for a particular time, then that is your level of success and that is achievable. There is no time cap at HYROX. You can the race will take you as long as it takes, and they will fully support that. That like the last, when they will stay running that event until the last person finishes the finish line. Like it is so incredibly inclusive, which I love. And so there is no time cap. So simply finishing the race can be the end goal for example A. But then you can go to the complete other end of the spectrum and having, I want a specific time of 59 minutes 30 or like sub 60 minutes, whatever it is. And that is a different individual's definition of success or a definition of a good race. And so it's accessible to everyone, but what dictates the feeling of success, I think, is different for everyone. And yeah, I think in terms of accessibility, the movements are not super technical. It's not like a CrossFit competition where people, will need to be able to execute like an overhead snatch with a barbell and things like that. Is technical. It requires reps. It requires skill and specific coaching. Whereas I think the movements at the workout stations are not super technical. They're quite accessible to most. And yeah, the endurance and the length of the race and the running components, are the variable for a lot of people. And it's accessible, but it's like, what is the outcome that you'll be happy with? And then I think that dictates the accessibility. It's like, sure, anyone can do it, but are you going to be happy with it? And at what level will you be happy / feeling successful? You want people to feel successful. And so those that are out there having fun, hell, it might just be, I just want to finish it, or I just want to experience an event with my friend or with my partner, because again, as you said, there's opportunity to race in a doubles or a relay or a solo. Like, it's cool that it has those options available, which again expands accessibility across the board as well.
Love that. I don't know that you're devil's advocate there. That's so nice.
Well, I am nice.
Yeah. That's a cool perspective.
Yeah. But also it hurts and it's hard.
Here
like you said, here she is. Well, I'm just going from my own experience, and I have no shame in telling people this, and I do tell people this. Every single HYROX race I do, I will be mid-race running, probably mid-burpees, let's face it. I do not like the burpee broad jump station when I'm doing a solo race. I feel like I'm stuck there forever.
That reminded me of something. Sorry. The photo of Maxine that's on her Earth to Body app. Does that still exist? And what station was that? What race was that?
Burpee broad jumps.
Amazing.
I think it was her first race, potentially.
That's the best.
We've got a few members with some funny faces on the burpee broad jump station.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Go on.
I don't know what I was saying now. You interrupted.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Every race I've done, I will be midway through the race asking myself why the fuck I signed up again. And I will be like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I'm never doing this again. And you get through the finish line, and then the first thing you're discussing with your mates and your peers afterwards is like, when's the next one? What's the next one? What are we going to do? We're going to sign up for the next one. It is ridiculous. I think a lot of events have that sort of addictability, and I sometimes liken it to childbirth. People forget the pain of childbirth and they go ahead and have another child. I can't speak from personal experience, but I feel like the HYROX races are sometimes the same. I'm in a pain cave and I'll be mid-race going, why the fuck am I doing this? This is fucked. And then I'll finish it and go, I want to do it again. It is as crazy.
Yeah, fucked up.
It is fucked up, and it is but it is fun. It is fun. I am excited for December.
Yeah.
All right. 2 things I want to move to now before we wrap it up. So, yeah. Yeah, you're looking at that going, oh, shit, it's been an hour. Oh, this will be a fast conversation.
Hey.
All right. Your training recipe now in a broad form.
My training recipe for, okay. Well, well, it's the same.
Correct.
So,
exactly. So your training recipe / philosophy for a HYROX prep. Then we'll move on to race day advice and then we'll wrap it up. So your ideal race prep for yourself / our community / a group fitness model.
3 strength and conditioning sessions that could be labeled GPP, general physical preparedness. So not necessarily solely skill specific to HYROX. They can be sprinkled in there, and they are, like wall ball sets, lunge variations, stuff like that, paired up with heavy barbell lifting, running and rowing, or an erg set. So 3 GPP sessions, 1 to 2 specific HYROX tolerance sessions or threshold tolerance sessions. And I'll say 1 to 2. 1 is totally okay. 2 if you're recovering okay and you're conditioned. But they should be hot sessions. They should be replicating the intensity of the race. And some of our HYROX group sessions or ebook sessions that people are doing in their own time, I would argue some of them are harder than the race, and they should be. So 1 to 2 of those a week, 3 GPP sessions a week, and 2, maybe 3, but 2 runs that are specifically geared to HYROX.
And what do they look like?
You're a threshold or an interval set at the track once, and a long, slow and steady run that you enjoy, and that be geared towards time on legs, just being out there for however long you think the race is going to be, plus a little bit. So I like to say to people 60 to 90 minutes. You might go out some days and it's 90, you might go out some days and it's 70, some days it's 60, but 60 to 90 minutes on your slow and steady run that you're outside enjoying. And track sessions are for seeing stars. Track sessions are tough, especially when you get to the fitter you get, the harder the track sessions are.
Yeah.
I mean that
because you can push it harder.
You can kind of package that up into most training sessions. Like it doesn't get easier. Your capacity builds and you can do more. But yeah, I think, wrapping that up, 3 GPP sessions or strength and conditioning sessions, 1 to 2 specific HYROX tolerance sessions. Tolerance meaning that you're dealing with the byproduct coming from that, high heart rate zone, and
2 runs.
And 2 runs. 1 threshold effort, which is not going to be, unless your name's Charlie Brennan, it's not going to be zone 5 on every single interval. That is delaying the onset of acidosis and byproduct that's coming from the intensity. And yeah.
The long
Did
run.
I get through it all? And the long run.
Yep. 3 GPP, 1 to 2 HYROX specific with lactic tolerance approach, and 2 runs.
Yeah. And I think we've got a sweet little advantage, and it's called skill mills, because we get to run every day. And by design, you have to pull a heavy belt through on these skill mills. So your best 1K run on a skill mill is actually slower than what it is outside, and we get to hit them every day. There's no impact, but great for your fitness because they're hard and they do have good carryover to those track runs that you do and the long runs that you do.
So Is it fair to say then with the skill mill runs, like you just said there, like a 1K on a skill mill is slower than what you would run a 1K outside. So it's fair to say that we're essentially doing a harder run variation just as you would train with a heavier wall ball than race weight to prepare you better. So it's almost like the running's preparing us better.
Totally. And also
inside the studio.
Yeah. yes, that for sure. But also we get to sprint and do shorter efforts, like thresholds by design. And you peak it to that. The shortest threshold effort is like 4 minutes that we're doing. 12 to 4 minutes are our threshold sets. You're not doing that in the class model. Might be every minute on the minute. Like at the moment, we'll be doing sprints every minute on the minute. But blending sprint work in is cool too. So yeah.
All right. So that is your ideal prep for the race time. And how many weeks are we talking? So you're talking what a 7-day week could look like. How many weeks are we wanting to do that for and build for?
I would like,
ideally, if you got to just
I got to
everyone
pick?
followed the recipe. Yeah.
I would like to do like 2 8-week hard blocks with a deload week.
All right. So a 17-week prep.
Yeah. And I enjoyed, and I'm bummed that I haven't been able to execute this, but I like that Perth is so close to Melbourne. And I think like if it stays that way, I like coming in and doing a prep into Perth, which is 8 weeks out from Melbourne, and, peaking, pushing hard for that, putting it to the test in Perth, have a deload week, and then build it back up again into Melbourne.
Is it really 8 weeks out from Melbourne? No.
Perth? No?
No. I think it's 12, bro.
No, yeah, you're right. True. Yeah.
Sorry, bursted your bubble.
Yeah.
Bursted. That's not a
Well,
word.
two peaks anyway.
Yeah.
Is what I would like coming in.
2 peaks with a deload.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 peaks with a deload. Yeah. I mean, there's an there's people in the elite 15s that can do it off a shorter window, but they're fitter.
And they're also year round
So
pretty much training for this race.
But
as their full-time job.
Yeah. So yeah, I like 12. I've done one over 20 weeks. Anywhere from 12 to 20 weeks. Anything under 12 weeks, like, yes, you can, depending on what you come to it with. But, if you're talking about like the lowest hanging fruit within your training being thresholds, like if you start talking about 10 weeks, like you've got 10 workouts, like it's not much. Do you know what I mean? So, I'd say 20 to 12 weeks, ideally.
12 to 20 weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Just to keep this a little bit time capped now, because we've been thrashing for over an hour.
And
well, who are we? Rich Roll.
I was just about to reference Rich Roll. One of my favorite Rich Roll conversations go for like 2 hours. And Joe Rogan goes for hours.
I know, but then there's resistance for the listeners. Or if you're a listener like me, I always look for a podcast.
What's some actual gold we can give people? Like,
well, I want to ask you, just so you don't ramble on forever, your 2 best tips for race day. Your best advice. 2 tips.
Yeah.
Limit it to 2.
Okay. My first tip would be to be cautious of the HYROX vortex. Be cautious of the energy that being around that racetrack can take from you. So
from a spectator perspective as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm cautious of that now. I love spectating, but if I had a race that I've been prepping months for, and I'd just be careful of how hard I'm cheering and running around at the race. So that's number 1. Number 2 is just like really basics, like making sure you're sleeping right, like during the weeks, hydrating, and fueling. Definitely fueling. And also like with your fueling too, like by that point before race day, you have been training at an intensity at an intense level where the race isn't going to be too much different to what you've been doing. So if you've simulated a race, for example, then how you fueled for that and how you felt for that, you kind of can go off that. It doesn't have to be like something totally different on the race.
And I think, which speaks to, I guess, which I was going to actually share, is don't change too much. Like you said, like if you're used to doing like hour-long workouts or like 60 to 90-minute runs or whatever it is your training windows are, whatever is working for recovery and fuel for those, why change it? Because that's giving your body something new to adapt to on race day, which is the day when you want as least variables as possible. So don't eat new types of food. Don't start using gels on the day of the race. Train with them if you're going to experiment with them. Like, test out different ways of fueling before your workouts and before your training.
Try on
sessions.
the shoes.
Try on the shoes. Train in those shoes. Train in the same clothes even.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the less change, the better, in my opinion. And yeah. Don't try and reinvent the wheel on race week. The amount of people that go, start, what do I need to do to carb load and all this stuff. Pay attention to your fuel, yes. And yes, prioritize carbs and prioritize sleep and prioritize hydration. But don't do it overboard, completely backflipping on what you've been doing. Otherwise, you're just going to shock your body. Well, and things might happen, aka your guts might kick up, and you don't want that.
Yeah. I do enjoy a good pasta the night before.
Oh, bro.
Which I'd like don't indulge in. Like,
yeah,
what were you going to say?
We eat pasta every week, bro. I do. Yeah. I eat pasta every week.
Yeah, but it's nice before a race.
It's a good ritual before. It's a great pre-race ritual.
Yeah, but it's nothing new. Like you've eaten that pasta before. We're not gonna. I'm
gonna make a new one on the night of.
I fucking love that pasta.
It's pretty good. A lot of people in our community love that pasta.
I love that night where it's just like no fucks, get it in.
We know what exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many bolts
shovel
as you
it
like.
in. It's going to be a big day.
All right. I want to wrap it up with something that we discussed in the car the other day, which I found that really interesting. And I guess it comes from, people, including us, our natural assumptions of what we think a particular workout station requires to be successful. So, for example,
I forgot about this.
Yeah. So, if the assumption is you've just got to be so super fit to be able to cream it on the burpee broad jump station, or you've got to have really strong legs to be able to cream it on the lunges and all that sort of thing. Everyone would have their assumptions of how you will do well on certain things, and there's a lot of different opinions from all the athletes around the world, all the coaches around the world, all people around in and around this sport. In terms of what has good carryover to all the workout stations.
Yeah. Maximal strength endurance. Yeah. This movement's good for that.
Exactly.
Station.
This is how to get better at your wall balls. This is how to get better at your sled push. This is how to get better at your row out. Yeah. All that stuff. And it's all it's all out there. There's a lot of opinions. Some things work better for some people than they do for others. It is what it is. But there is a fair assumption that people believe that if you are strong in pulling movements, aka like your deadlifts and some other pull variations, that will naturally have good carryover to the sled pull station. Yeah. It is called a sled pull. Yeah. But then we discussed the other day is hang on a second. With the technique that it is, with the techniques that you can approach a sled pull with, is it a push or a pull? So let's talk about two different.
That's the question that for anybody who's listened this far in, and if anybody wants to nerd out, I ask the question, is a sled pull a push or a pull? The answer, I know what the answer is. The answer is a push. It's actually a push, because the answer is a push if you are doing it the way most athletes do it, especially pros. If it's a heavy sled, if you are stationary and you're pulling hand over hand, that is a pull. If you are grabbing the rope, arms are locked, leaning back and dragging with your legs
and going for a walk,
pushing the ground away with your legs. And technically, if you are working it with that technique, it's a push. It's a push movement, which is interesting, because a deadlift or a pull up or a bent over row variation that you're talking about, that people are going to say is going to have carryover to a sled pull. No, it's not.
So then what is potentially some example exercise that would have good carryover to a sled pull if we're executing it in that with that technique, with that arms locked, hips locked, walking back technique.
So any forward lunge variation, forward lunge. So if you're going forward and pushing your body weight back for reps, that's going to have better carryover than a pull movement. So any forward lunge variation, I would say a heel elevated squat variation, like a cyclist squat or a heel elevated goblet squat, anything where, because in that position, while you're pushing the ground away, leaning backwards, your quads light up. So any squat variation where you are targeting knees and quads, I would say like we're doing a set at the moment of like a 3-second negative knees over toes, like a drop step, would you call it? Look, any knees over toes variation where your knees and your quads are getting loaded are going to be a good carryover for a sled pull. But yeah, it was an interesting topic while we were driving when we discovered that a sled pull is actually a push.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I don't think a lot of people think of it like that.
Yeah.
All right, so hopefully, for everyone listening, you can take something away from our stories and our race experience, I guess, and a bit more insight into our race prep training philosophy that we execute at the Body. I think the next time we speak about HYROX will be when we invite Matt Locke from HYROX onto the pod.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Big dog, absolute gentleman. And I guess like wrapping this up, like we kind of segued this whole thing with like, I don't want to come across that part of the story. Like there was friction there, but I love that existed and then to where it is now. Cause
yeah, it's like a contrast.
Man, we've got a wicked relationship with their whole team. Like we've judged, we've judged on course.
You've been an ambassador, a HYROX ambassador.
True, I was a HYROX ambassador.
How did we not even talk about that?
Yes, true. It's such a wicked thing. And I mean, hey, we never even spoke about like what influence it's had on the industry.
We'll talk about that with Matt.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool time to be in community fitness and taking your boutiques and your franchise gyms out into the space and putting your training to the test wherever you're training, whatever you're doing. Like, and yeah, I love what it's done to the scene. I think ultimately it is accessible to anyone, but I think you've got to put in the work. You got to put in the work, and that makes the experience like it makes for a better experience.
Yeah, well, people often say it's about the journey, not the destination, right? And sometimes the prep can be the most enjoyable part of competing.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
Let's go eat some pasta.
Fuck yeah. Can you cook it?
Yep.
Do we know what's coming next? I actually don't.
No. So let's just leave it there.
All right.
Surprise episode 4 on the way.
All right. Peace out.